you can actually personalize that entire experience as well. So me being a very aggressive customer, I keep on checking when my delivery is going to happen. We probably have different triggers for a customer like me who is always on its phone checking when the delivery is going to come.
As you're so deep into AI, I need to ask you, were there any kind of surprises that you saw what AI is really capable of?
Yeah, good question. So there.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the eCommerce Coffee Break podcast. Most brands spend all their energy getting customers to buy, but then completely drop the ball after checkout. But here's the thing, what happens after someone clicks purchase is where the real money is made or lost. Today, we're diving into how to build a post-purchase tech stack that doesn't just track packages, but actually drives revenue and keeps customers coming back for more. Joining me on the show today is Prashant Gupta. He is the co-founder and CTO of ClickPost, a leading SaaS logistics platform. With a computer science degree, he drives AI-powered solutions, enabling ClickPost to process over 50 million shipments monthly for over 450 brands across more than 30 countries. We have a lot to cover, so let's get started. Hey, Prashant, welcome to the show.
Hi, Klaus. Glad to be here.
Prashant, let's dive into it. Many brands treat their post-purchase phase as sort of done phase, but that's a big problem. Why is that a big mistake?
Many of the brands focus a lot towards getting more customers, acquiring them. Brands miss out on retaining those customers and the entire funnel of building loyalty, which helps brands maintain a lot of customer retention, ultimately helping them reduce the customer acquisition cost over a period of time by retaining or by driving initiatives in the entire post-purchase bit to be more sticky to the same brand. So that is a mistake that we have seen brands doing in their journey, and that's where we come into picture and help them in retaining the customers and maintaining those relationships for a long-term benefit.
Mm-hmm. I want to dive a little bit into the ignoring the post-purchase experience. Obviously, as you said, most brands are chasing the next customer. They're deep into marketing and just finding new customers. Now, the post-purchase experience is very important. Tell me why that is.
Talking about the post-purchase experience, right? Probably the purchase part of the entire flow, when a customer comes on your website and places an order, is like a 15 minutes, 20 minutes journey at max. While once the order is placed, from there on till the product is delivered and handed over to the customer is like a 2-3 days window of time, where you can do a lot more stuff to wow the customer at every point. Now, when all of that happens, brands generally focus a lot towards that first 15 minutes of that journey on getting the customer, making them place an order. What they miss out on is they have 2 more days or 3 more days to actually wow the customer and retain it, which is something where we come into picture. And so starting from as soon as the order is placed, can you give an opportunity to the customer who just missed out on adding a discount code, which can be applied, or edit their address, some mistakes that they did, or add another product? Can you do that or give that capability to the customer? Or once the order is placed, can you keep the customer informed about when it is going to be shipped? Is it a just-in-time product, or is it readily available in your warehouse? When it will be dispatched? When it is going to arrive? How accurately you are able to commit that to the customer? Giving them that personalized experience. So we started our journey right from building these experiences for brands. And from there, today, with AI, we are now getting into personalizing these experiences for customers. So you in Argentina might have a very different persona, and your experience with a brand might be very different than me sitting in New York while I'm receiving the same t-shirt. So my expectations on how I'll use that t-shirt will be very different. So can a brand nudge and keep the customer informed about how they can use the product in the best way which is another piece of the product that they can buy with the same t-shirt. So to make the best sense out of it. So yeah, these are the things that we are doing nowadays to enhance that experience for brands.
Far more than just optimizing the shipping method. It's really about communication. It's really about staying on top before the question basically comes up by the client. You already provide the right information there. So give me a couple of examples on how that would look like from somebody's going into the checkout and how often gets a client informed.
So I'll start from the checkout journey. So as soon as the checkout happens, we see for brands around 5 to 7% of the queries that come in around editing the order or updating the order. Can you reduce that for them? There are brands who want to do a customer confirmation. Can you deploy voice agents to get the order confirmation done on the brand's behalf instead of humans reaching out or calling the customers? Now we can have voice agents calling the customer and doing all of it. Once the order is confirmed, then keeping again the customer informed about when the order is going to be dispatched and when it will be delivered, to avoid cases where the customer is not present at their address to receive the product. How can you have those cases minimized? Again, at the time of shipping, we inform the customer. So traditionally, brands have been informing the customer around the shipping updates in a very plain vanilla manner, that there'll be a shipped update, there'll be an out for delivery update, then there'll be a delivered update. In the delivered update, you capture the NPS, all of that happens. Now, you can actually personalize that entire experience as well. So me being a very probably aggressive customer, I keep on checking when my delivery is going to happen. We read that data and we probably have different triggers for a customer like me who is always on its phone checking when the delivery is going to come, so that I'm not actually checking it. I am being informed by the brand, which creates an aha moment for me. While you on the other side can be someone who is okay with, once I have placed the order, I'll get it in like 2-3 days. But just it's important that you are informed if there is any delay happening in the transit journey. So for you, the notifications might be different. On the tracking page, again, the experience that you get around what are the style tips that you can have for a particular product, if it is a fashion category, or if you have ordered a furniture, what is the specification or installation guide for a particular product will vary. So we help brands implement these flows without going into the cumbersome process of mapping all these data points, but directly reading these data points from their website and having a dynamic tracking pages built for them, specific to each customer's persona. So, yeah.
Very interesting. So this is a really proactive approach of customer communication. So as you said, instead of the customer checking from their side, and where's my shipping is probably the most asked question to any customer support of any brand anywhere. So you're really proactive and you're pushing the information to the customer. And what I like is that you also sort of create an excitement for the package, for the product arriving by telling how can you use it or what can you expect. So this is really interesting. I want to dive a little bit into the technology behind that. You mentioned there's AI agents. Obviously, it's AI driven. How does it work?
We have been actually thinking about how best we can leverage AI to transform the entire post-purchase experience from where it was to how it's going to be. First thing that we thought is personalization is something which is here, and personalization can be built by using AI a lot more faster than how the brands will build it without AI in place. So we use all the new age models. GPT-5 is just out. We keep on trying all these models that these large companies are launching, which works best for which use case, and then experimenting, trying out the prompt engineering approach around what's the best outcome that we are getting from these models and then deploy them in the entire flow, so that brands get that outcome that they desire. Another important point to note is it's not just about deploying the models once. It's also about how do you build out your evals engine? How do you have validation done on these models so that they are not hallucinating, as people say it commonly, or they're not giving something inappropriate that you'd not want them to say. So we have a strong two-way validation also built up to ensure that the model only does what it is asked to do and is not and has proper guardrails built around it so that it's behaving as you'd want it to behave. So it's quite similar to how you have a new joinee coming in your team, and how do you train that person, guide him or her at all times, do this, not do this, etc. How do you do that with AI agents again, is something that we are constantly doing.
Mm-hmm. That's a kind of interesting aspect there, because I think a lot of brands out there would be concerned about having an agent talking in their brand language, in their lingo, what the customers are used to. Tell me, how long does the training take? What's the kind of onboarding process before it's fine-tuned?
So we have defined different personas internally and classify that based on us working with 450 plus brands using ClickPost. We now have broad categories in which brands classify themselves. There are some brands who want to classify themselves as really modern and premium, while there are some brands who want to be in that quirky zone, that they want to talk in the new Gen Z language at all times. So there are different brands who have different tones, and based on that, we have predefined tones that the brand can select, review. If they want to do some tweaks, they can do that and they can go live. So it is entirely out of the box. I would say the entire training part is something that we keep on doing. Whenever we see that, okay, there is a new trend coming in the market, we introduce a new tone for it, and brands can just use it out of the box. So it's more of like one-time activity that we do, which is close to around 14 to 20 days activity. And then brands are open to using it and going live with it.
Mm-hmm. Let's dive a little bit deeper into technology, into the back end. Most of our listeners are on Shopify or any other kind of marketplace. There's many out of there, and I can imagine that a lot of our listeners have different tech stacks. And I want to dive a little bit into tech stacks. What kind of APIs or methods of thinking with existing platforms do you have, and how do you embed all of this into ClickPost?
Yeah, good question. So our approach on how to approach technology, our way on looking at the technology has been, we look at everything as API first, and then you can have different clients built on top of your APIs, which integrate with different systems. So ClickPost is a API first platform which allows brands to integrate with it at all times. Now, we see a trend that with Shopify, you can have a plugin. So then we have a channel integrations team, which integrates our APIs, builds a plugin, launches it on Shopify. So we have another plugin on WooCommerce or Magento. So again, which is all built on top of our API, but our APIs remain core to our systems. And then there are brands who directly use our APIs also to interact with our systems, while there are brands on Shopify, Magento who use our plugins to activate their systems with us.
Mm-hmm. How does it work with warehouse management systems? The next step in the shipping journey, where do you connect there?
Yes, so we even integrate with warehouse management systems, different warehouse management systems like, for example, ShipStation or Flexport. With these tools, ClickPost Integrate allows brands to have a one-click integration available with their warehouse management systems. And we constantly invest in building more integrations with these different warehouse management systems so that our integrations are really strong across. And it's very easy for brands to onboard ClickPost in their ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. You're working with more than 30 countries, 450 brands, multi-language settings. How does the AI deal with different languages?
Oh, yes. Another good point. So we are seeing with AI, brands see a lot more confidence in using an AI tool for such use cases than actually relying on humans. Like if I think about just a typical use case of contact center teams, now for different languages, you need to have different people, or the same person has to be trained in different languages to be able to talk to the customers in those. With AI agents, you are able to have the same script trained in different languages so that it's very scalable. The same agent can handle English, Spanish, or any other language that the brand is looking for. So we see a lot of use cases around vernacular support, and this is probably one area where we are seeing brands adopting AI because of the limitations that humans have generally with different language supports.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. AI is so much better and such more affordable than having a whole range of team support team members there sitting with different languages there. Now, I want to dive a little bit into, and you mentioned that in the beginning about retention and results. Can you give an example or a case study, and you don't need to name the brand, of someone who's working with you and what kind of difference they saw after implementing ClickPost?
All right. So I'll talk about a large marketplace operating in North America, which earlier was using a different tool for their entire shipping management and the post-purchase management. One of the points that they were focusing a lot on expanding their carrier network. So they use ClickPost, and with us being onboarded with them, they were able to onboard 15 additional carriers in North America in a span of 6 months, which was a huge win for them. Along with those 15 carriers, not only we help them integrate and generate labels, track the shipments, but we also help them with proactive updates to the customers, giving a branded tracking page experience to their customers across all the carriers. So it became a consistent experience that they were now delivering with ClickPost coming into the picture versus their earlier tools that they were using. And they saw a jump in, I think, 10 NPS points amongst their customers using ClickPost with proactive communications, capturing where the shipment is, proactive delay updates, um, giving an opportunity to the customers to edit their information right after the order placement. So those are few of the data points that, can share.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting learning. As you're so deep into AI, I need to ask you, with your journey developing ClickPost, were there any kind of surprises that you saw personally when you were implementing AI solutions into ClickPost, what AI is really capable of? So something that really surprised you, what AI can do.
There have been multiple cases, and we have been wowed by AI every time we look at it, right? We have been looking at AI in terms of reducing our grunt work that humans were doing and delegating that to AI tools, because they are able to do all of that grunt work that humans do. Now, beyond it, we actually figured out that even deeper analytics is something that AI can do. If you train it on your data sets really well, it's able to give you better insights in a shorter time duration, which probably a business analyst will take to derive in couple of hours or couple of days. So that way we found good utilization of AI along on ClickPost, where it found us and saw that, oh, it can even do this. Let's explore it here, and can we implement it within our tool to have it live on the product.
I think that someone who's working with AI, and everyone I think who's listening right now should already working with AI. If you're in e-commerce and you're not using AI, you have a problem. So, and I think everyone has found out that AI can do so much more than just saving you time, but also getting better in the quality of what you do. Now, for someone who is interested in testing ClickPost, tell me about the onboarding process. We were diving a little bit into it, but if you're on Shopify, what are the steps? Is there any kind of homework that I need to do before I can get started?
If you want to start using ClickPost, it's as simple as just going ahead, looking for a plugin, install it, and you are up and running. Like probably the entire onboarding takes like 5 minutes. So yeah, as good as just getting started there. And then so the entire ClickPost offering is divided into different modules. You can take a tracking piece, you can take order editing piece, or you can take label generation as a service. Depending on the service that you are opting in, the onboarding time varies. For the smaller service, such as like order editing, you can just go ahead and install the plugin and you are good to go live. While for services like tracking, you need to do account setups, which you'll already have the carrier credentials that you can come and configure and you're good to go live with that.
Mm-hmm. What would be one tip that you would give a merchant to start optimizing their post-purchase experience for their clients right now?
So I would say start looking at AI on how it can actually transform the experience that you are delivering to your customers, and try out ClickPost. Hopefully that will change the way you look at AI and how you can leverage it to improve your entire post-purchase funnel.
Mm-hmm. Now you're working with a huge range of customers out there, but who is your perfect customer?
I'd say it's a persona that you define, right? A perfect customer is one who is as driven as us to improve their entire post-purchase experience. Like there is no magic pill that just starts working as soon as you install ClickPost. There are processes and right ways of leveraging the tool through which you are able to get the best outcome out of it. So the perfect customer is one which has one champion who is actually driven to make the entire post-purchase funnel successful. And when they work with us, they see wonders happening in their entire funnel.
Mm-hmm. No, perfectly true. You need to have somebody who's taking the responsibility there. How does your pricing structure work?
So it is per transaction. For every transaction that you have on ClickPost, we charge based on that.
Okay. Before our coffee break comes to an end today, Prashant, is there anything that you want to share with our listeners that we haven't covered yet?
I think we have covered everything around the entire offering. We spoke about the order editing piece, where as soon as the order is placed, how can you let the customers control the order information even right after the order is being placed? And then how can you keep the customer always engaged in that entire journey to have better outcomes? And then not just engage them, wow them with the personalization that you can do with now AI and different flows that you can build around. One thing that we didn't cover is around the returns and exchanges. So there are a lot of personalization that you can even do around returns and exchanges, where you can have customer segmentation done on it, and you can have different return policies for different customer segments. So you need not have just a plain vanilla returns policy for all your customers, but depending on your loyal customers or high returners, you can actually have different return policies, which is something that we enable brands to have on their web portals.
It just shows you the power of AI and how it can help you to reduce support requests, obviously. But I think more importantly, and I mentioned this a few times, is creating a wow effect and really being proactive when it comes to the communication with your customer. And that makes sure that customers will come back. If they are satisfied with the communication, I think that's the most important part in any business. And that will make sure that your revenue goes up and you see more orders coming in. Prashant, where can people go and find out more about ClickPost?
Oh, you can go to clickpost.ai to learn all about it.
Okay, I will put the link in the show notes as always, then you're just one click away. Prashant, thanks so much for your time today. AI, always a massive topic. I'm totally a big fan of AI on how it can help customers and brands out there to make their life and work easier and better. And I hope a lot of people will reach out to you. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.